It's Monday, the 21st of May, 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jinshin Jitsu, safety energy lock number 21 came into the universe meaning profound security, escape from mental bondage. So safety energy lock number 21 is here on just underneath the Zygoma. And this profound security is in the knowing that our mind essentially controls our reality. And that when we break the prisons that we impose on our mind, those are self-imposed prisons. Our way of seeing the world, it's not necessarily consciously self-imposed, because the way in which we see the world is determined by the experiences that we've had and our perceptions of those experiences. And because we then judge them as being good or bad, it gives us a world view. So we'll decide that something is not safe, or something is safe, or something is not okay, or something is okay. And that's why you can have as many different opinions as to what is right and what isn't based on the number of people you ask, because everybody has a unique way of evaluating whether something is good or bad or right or wrong. And these prisons essentially keep us bound in our perceptions of ourselves and in other people. So if you have an idea that you're not good enough, and you keep on repeating that thought pattern, and you live out that thought pattern, what happens is your life starts demonstrating that that is the truth. And it's only when you start breaking that thought pattern. So it's not that you are more than good enough. It's that you are a combination of not good enough and more than good enough. And if you can embrace both, and you can appreciate that both exist. So there's some areas in your life where you are probably stellar, more than good enough. In other words, you exceed the average benchmark. But there are some areas in your life where you are probably not good enough. So for example, I am socially not good enough. I'm not good with staying in touch with people. I'm not good with networking. I'm not good at networking events. I'm not good with socializing in large groups. I'm just not good enough. Now, that doesn't bother me, because actually it's not a high enough value, but it's definitely an area in which I am not good enough. Then there are other areas in my life where I think I'm more than good enough. So I'm not going to say what those are, because then I'm just going to sound like I've got a big head. But you see, even that, you can't blow your own trumpet. You can't actually own your amazingness. You can admit to your less than amazingness, but God forbid that you should say, you know what, I'm more than enough when it comes to knowledge. I'm more than enough when it comes to discipline and dedication to something that I'm really interested in. Then we start holding back, and we start saying, well, just what I've just done. I want to blow my own trumpet, and I don't want you to think badly of me. So sometimes it's easier for us to own what we perceive as being negative than it is for us to own what we perceive as being positive. But know this, they both exist. So when we are resonating with the energy of safety energy lock number 21, then we can help to become more flexible in our thinking. And that flexibility, being able to concede that, first of all, you don't know jack. You don't actually, you know what? We know just about nothing. And the more you know you don't know, right? When you can concede that another point of view may have validity, you can't see how it's valid, but you can concede that it's a possibility that it may have validity. That's when tolerance, lack of criticism, and the removal of judgment and fixation starts happening. And that is the profound security of knowing that actually, in actuality, all parts exist equally. In our reality, we create which parts we think are there, or which parts are acceptable and which parts are not. So you can hold safety energy lock number 21 like this. You can hold it together with 22 on the same side. So 22 is, your collarbone is over here. There's a little depression sort of midway along your collarbone. You can hold safety energy lock number 21 and 22 on the same side together. And tomorrow we'll speak about the 22, obviously. This happens to be the first step of the stomach organ function energy flow. So this helps to harmonize our thinking, because the stomach is the thinker. Right, so 21 is a 3, and 3 is about expansion. It's about movement. It's about dancing. It's about looking beyond your constraints. It is about strategizing. It's about seeing the goal. It's about working out a strategy how to get to the goal. It's a number of creativity. It's a fire number. And so today we can connect to that energy that actually helps us expand into new versions of ourselves, the way we see the world, and the way we see other people. Of course, we've got the 5. from May, and that 5 helps us to adapt, to change. It helps us to break those boundaries. It helps us to realize that the number of perceptions out there are unlimited. You can have whatever perception you need to, and that you in fact are limitless, just as the world around us, in terms of, it probably goes on forever and ever and expands beyond this universe and beyond. There are multiple universes, so it is essentially limitless. So 5 helps us to connect to that as well. The 2 from 2018 helps us to stay connected into our emotions. It helps us not let the fiery passion of the 3 drive us beyond, drive us to a point where we don't actually regard our emotions or the emotions of others. And it helps us to maintain that balance so that we don't expand too far. So for example, if you take LSD, it basically breaks down the boundaries in your mind for the time that you're on the trip. And you apparently can go to places where, well, you can't imagine, right? So you can have an amazing trip, or you can have a terrible trip, or I suppose you can have elements of amazing and awful in the same trip. But if you go too far, if you take too big a dose, if you go beyond the boundaries that are safe, well, then you run the risk of probably not coming back or damaging yourself in some way. So it's the same with the expansiveness of the 3. The 3 can be expansive, but when it goes beyond it, when it pushes you beyond, so far beyond what is comfortable for you, it can actually cause damage. And so the 2, that water number of the 2, keeps the expansiveness of the 3 in check. And when you check in with your emotions, how does this make me feel? How does this make me feel? The minute you start feeling unsafe, you can either work out whether it's okay to push this boundary a little bit or whether it's okay to retreat. The hero today is a 1. So the hero in the 1, if you've got a 1 in the hero position, that is, I am enough. I am complete. I am actually. And I am a unique individual. I'm a unique expression of this universal energy that we all come from. And because I'm here, I have validity. And so 1 is about confidence. It's about self-esteem in this position. It's about integrating. It's about marrying the parts that seem not to be connected. 1 is, I can integrate my not good enough and my more than good enough, and I can actually accept and love them both. The villain today is the 4. So when we have 4 in the villain position, remember, we become blind to the truth, very often blind to the truth about ourselves. And so if you, for example, are only seeing yourself as not good enough, you will say, Loretta's talking absolute crap. I don't have more than good enoughs. I only have not good enoughs. Well, you know what? It's like gravity. You can cuck and carom about not knowing how gravity works. The fact is, you're subject to the laws of gravity. So 4 in the... I just realized I used an Afrikaans swear word. Anyway, 4 in the lesson, in the villain position, makes us blind to the truth. In other words, it amplifies our blind spot. So know that if your blind spot is there, you want to explore a little bit further. Maybe ask someone, right? Get someone who you love and you trust. Get their honest opinion. Get some feedback. Luckily, we have Jinshin Jitsu. So, of course, safety energy lock number 21. I just showed you. You can hold 21 and you can hold 22, which is the beginning of the stomach organ function energy. Or you can hold your thumb. The thumb also harmonizes the stomach and spleen organ function energies. The stomach is the thinker. The spleen is the feeler. So it helps us to harmonize our analytical thinking functions with our emotional feeling functions. It also helps to harmonize worry and anxiety, because when you start breaking those boundaries, then the foundations on which you've built your perceptions, they start becoming a little bit shaky, because now you're basically moving into something new, and that moving into the unknown can be highly anxiety provoking. So hold your thumb, hold the first step of the stomach organ function energy flow, and you will help to harmonize the anxiety, and it will help you to expand into the best version of yourself. I hope you have an amazing Monday, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.